We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the rant, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone. Welcome everyone to the real episode 322 of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with the proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. I am your host, Floyd Johnson, and I do promise I'm flying solo today, but I do promise Austin definitely still with the show. Definitely going to do the show next week. So this week, we went to record like we normally do, and there was a massive thunderstorm in Oklahoma, and the power went out. It was like, welcome to episode 322, click. And it was late already when we were recording, and Austin has works in TV, so finding another window to record wasn't there. So you get solo Floyd one more time. I did get his picks for Forbidden Door, so I will definitely be getting out there, but I wanted to get that out first. It's just been terrible timing over the last few weeks, and with everything going on, we weren't able to get it done. But I am here for you, and hopefully you enjoy this. I'm going to go over AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, quickly on Collision, and then do our Forbidden Door preview. Thank you. And then I got some news and notes to go for, but you're going to fly with me this morning, and I'm recording this Saturday night, Sunday morning, so hopefully you can get this in before Forbidden Door and just see how right I am, which is generally pretty accurate. Try not to be the spoiler alert. So make sure you're downloading this fine show on YouTube Music or Apple Podcasts. Please leave a rating and review, or if you're so inclined, so you can rating and review if you're so inclined, and you can follow us at AT Elite Pod, at Social Suplex, at Austin Sumowitz, and at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Make sure you're checking out the Social Suplex net newsletter. The link will be in the show. Also, make sure you are in the Social Suplex Discord, best Discord in the world, variety of wrestling fans, the live chat during AEW pay-per-views is always amazing. So make sure you are checking that out, especially with Forbidden Door, because this is the combination of New Japan, Stardom, CMLL, and AEW in the one show. So you should see people maybe from groups that might not post generally in the AEW post or generally in the New Japan group. You might see some different people in the Discord today. All right. So the big news of the week is this is the Forbidden Door 26 preview. Now for me, Forbidden Door is probably my third favorite AEW pay-per-view that they put on. Number one, of course, being All In. Number two for me is Revolution. It's always a banger. I've never missed one live. Luckily, pandemic and shit, I never missed one live. And then it's this one, Forbidden Door. My boy J.R. Perez, friend of the show, often collaborator, one of my best friends. He's gonna be at the show, and this probably he told me this will be the first show he'll be without me in a very long time. And decisions had to be made about shows, so I am glad to be watching this show at home and talking with everyone while it's going on. But definitely have fun at the show they are, and everybody in San Jose, which I almost have to assume it's going to include Dave Meltzer, because apparently he is from the area, so I'm hoping he's in the building for San Jose. Maybe we get a 7-star match or something like that. So no, definitely want to check this out. All right, so first up, AEW Rio Rancho, New Mexico review. All right, so when I watched the show, I did something I haven't done in a very long time. I actually took notes during the show. I generally like my thoughts to be, as I call, fan-based. So I want to talk about what I remembered on the show, because what I remembered on the show, generally, that means it spoke to me. It means it stuck with me, as opposed to stuff that just happens. Like sometimes even a banger match. I'll tell anybody, sometimes a banger match, I'm not necessarily emotionally involved or whatever, and I'll just kind of check out. And then I'll check back in, and you'll hear that in the show, because it was just like, okay, it didn't grab my attention. Because it's, to me, as you fan, it's not my job to make sure I'm paying attention. It's your job to keep my attention. So that's generally how I review, but I decided to, let's change it up a little bit. So I don't even really need the All Things AEW site notes, because I kind of kept it. So we got Death Riders in the back, Mox Costa promo. Will does the little spin around dance, and apparently it was a true accident. I thought it was part of the storyline or part of him not being really part of the group. He fell, and then Daniel Garcia helped him up, and it looks like him and Daniel Garcia are pretty tight. So that works out. Everybody got to laugh at it. Will got to laugh at it online. So we started off first match, trios match, Claudio Wheeler and Mox versus Mystico and Brodito. Mox pins Brody after a belt shot from Claudio. This stood up to the AEW house style trios match. Very fun, very exciting. I truly thought they would go with Bandito pinning someone again to have another one up on Mox, but Mox then pinned Brody, and I was like, So that just put some thoughts in my head for the Continental match, this Forbidden Door, but you'll hear about that later. Then we get backstage. We get Briscoe's team backstage, minus Mark Briscoe. Darby said they will do anything to get Mark the title. OC said everybody will have their backpacks on. I mean, yeah. This is one of those things. As you listen to the show, Konosuke Takeshita, the person I prefer watching wrestle more than anybody, not really a big fan of him having anything to do with the conglomeration. I wish he, maybe the Death Riders, maybe on his own, pretty much anybody else. I'm not like, the conglomeration, if you look at it, is a very well decorated team. It really is. I mean, they are the trios champions right now, but they still come off as a comedy act. And, got Takeshita and Ishii that, kind of just, Ishii doesn't talk at all, but Takeshita, throws his stuff in there. I don't think it's a good fit for who Takeshita is. But again, that's my personal opinion. Also, I'm a little more invested because he's, again, my favorite wrestler. But him being with the conglomeration kind of annoys me. I want him to be the alpha. I want him to be who he is. And I don't think that energy comes from being with the conglomeration. Maybe, reasonable minds will disagree, to steal a line from Joe Lanza from Voices of Wrestling. Marina versus Harley. So the note says, as soon as Harley wore the Supergirl outfit, I knew she was winning. Harley wins with a roll-up. They came out, and I was, of course, rooting for Marina because Marina's one of my favorites in AEW right now. And then, I saw Harley come out in the Supergirl. I'm like, yeah, they're not gonna have her come out in the Supergirl outfit the week Supergirl comes out and then lose. Yeah, so that was pretty obvious for me. Match was fine. I had no real strong feelings about the work in the match, but I did like the roll up, and then I like the fuck you Harley Cameron tweet, Facebook. I think she put it on pretty much all her social medias that Marina Shafir put up. Mercedes cuts a promo. She's saying, dreams don't win titles. She does. That was the line from it. I thought it was amazing. She's like, she said, I'm not your mentor. I'm your boss. I'm not your teacher. I'm your boss. Mercedes was amazing in this promo. Got me pumped up for the match, which I think will be amazing because, you got one of the best American wrestlers, of the last, of the 2000s. Versus my world, who's great. But, if you like, hey, you need somebody to lead someone through a match, someone that's a little younger, but talented through a match, I'm pretty sure you can count on Mercedes to make sure that gets done. And when I say pretty sure, I mean, I'm definite. Then we had Ospreay versus ELP. Great match. Great New Japan style match. Ospreay beat him with the hidden blade. That was pretty awesome because he hit him Styles Clash and then Hidden Blade to finish the match. Again, I took some notes. Like I said, I don't even need the guide. Took some notes. Swerve versus Garcia. Swerve wins with the Hidden Blade. Swerve then attacks Garcia after the match. And then Ospreay made the save, and then Swerve was going to hit. In the worst save ever, Swerve then gets the advantage of Ospreay. He's going to hit him with the rotor breaker. And then Daniel Garcia has to make the save again. And then Swerve was going to break Daniel Garcia's arm, and Ospreay had to save him again. So it's like, yeah. So in the end, Ospreay and Daniel Garcia seem to be the two members of the Death Riders that seem to be getting along the best, which gives me weird feelings in my stomach. I just feel like something's about to go down with Ospreay. I mean, this storyline might be as straightforward as the Death Riders are helping Will Ospreay reach his goal. Personally, if that is the story, if that's the story they're sticking with, that is a boring ass story. I just feel like it's the Death Riders screwing Will Ospreay over. I think that's the ultimate thing that's going to happen, and it's going to be led by Daniel Garcia. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just have Will win, have Kenny win, Will versus Kenny. Kenny beats MJF at Redemption, Will versus Kenny at All In. If they do it that way, they do it that way. But I feel like I hate that it's like out and that everybody knows it's coming. It's kind of boring. Fix it, but I don't know how you fix it. I don't know if that's even right. But I just feel like, if I'm looking at the story and wrestling I've watched, and it's like when he's around the Death Riders, they're kind of giving Will the side eye. It just feels like they're going to turn on him. So we'll see. MJF and the Don Callis family cut a promo, and MJF kicks out Trent and Rocky. And then they have a Don and MJF shirt, which is, DC MJF. And it's a white shirt. And it's a terrible shirt, and it's amazing because it's so terrible. And it's so funny because every time people get online, it's like, those shirts are so bad. And I'm just like, do I got to explain wrestling to you? You're not supposed to like them. They're the bad guy. Duh. I don't know. ZSJ taps out Jungle Boy in a very good match. Very good match. Very good back and forth match. Can't wait for Luchasaurus to get back. I feel like Jungle Boy's in a holding pattern until Luchasaurus gets back. But ZSJ, amazing, fucking dickhead, and I love him. And it's like the dickheads you love. And he told Kenny Omega that he'll beat him up if he can manage to stay out of the hospital, which is a pretty funny line because it's a dickhead line. And he's gonna be the first person to win. I think early in the week he said he was going to be the first person from New Japan to win an AEW title, which, Konosuke Takeshita exists, but whatever. That's the thing. Takeshita lives everywhere. He has no home. He is the nomad of professional wrestling, and I really, really, really would like them to do something with that. Definitely not with the collision and the stupid backpacks. The Young Bucks beat Mikey Nichols and Bad Dude Tito. It's a Young Bucks match. It was like a Young Bucks match to me, them and FTR to me. Again, this is a Floyd opinion. I hope I'm not speaking it too much like it's fact. In my opinion, they are the pizza of professional wrestling. Like a Young Bucks match is a Young Bucks match. It's good because it's a Young Bucks match. FTR match is good because it's an FTR match. Now, did they go to the heights that the Young Bucks are available to? No, I don't think you do that against Bad Dude Tito and Mikey Nichols. I think you have the match that they had and just get the dub. Get a Thekla promo. I mean, can a woman have big dick energy? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Thekla, this whole thing, this whole Forbidden Door season between Thekla hating Stardom and Tsuji hating AEW, that's kind of the right way to do it. And that's the energy I want from everybody, or at least most people. But, I don't know is Forbidden Doors ever going to be what I want it to in my head. And I'm okay with it not being, because every show's amazing. But Thekla, a little Tsuji fucking hating on AEW, a little gay kid. You know what? To me, that's enough to feed my everybody hates everybody energy. I want it to be all out, but I'll take those three people really, really sticking it home. Man, it'd be great if Stardom had somebody that was great on a promo, who could cut a great American promo to go at Thekla. That would be amazing. But the match with Starlight Kid, it's going to be the match. It's going to be probably great. So we'll talk about that later. All right, we had Queen Red Monata versus Red Velvet. Red Velvet, super improved as an in-ring worker. If you've been watching Red Velvet since the dark days and you don't see how much better and more confident in everything that she moves, you're not paying attention. Queen Amanada is like, you just keep kind of wait on them. You're waiting on them to pull the trigger on her. Between her headbutt and her energy and her presence that she comes in titles, it's like she needs to be a part of an act. Like, like how Marina is with Death Riders, but I don't know where she fits. I'm not saying I know where she fits. I mean, maybe Swerve if he ever does the faction again. I mean, and I'm definitely maybe Queen, because they kind of have that presence about them that we're bigger than this presence, but I don't know. It's just, she kind of was hot as far as everybody liking, and then got lost in the sauce, then got hurt, and then come back. And I just kind of ready for them to give her energy and give her time and let her be who she is. TBS title, wouldn't mind it. Would not mind her putting that on. So we'd see that. We could see that. And shit, Queen Amanada does get the win. CNC attacked the dogs backstage. The dogs actually, in this case, got the better of them. I don't know what happened. I think, I was working and got a call, because that's actually where my notes end. And there you go. Yeah. Nick and Matt about three-way tag. Matt says momentum on their side, and they're on the way back to the top of the tag team division. Yeah, and the commotion was heard off stage, and that was the dogs getting the better of Christian and Cope. Then we had Konosuke Takeshita versus Ricochet. Great match. I actually missed it live, had to go back and watch it. Didn't take notes, but Takeshita did get the win with the rage and fire. As Takeshita got to the back of the stage, he was met by his teammate, by Forbidden Door Mark Briscoe. Takeshita continued back while Briscoe went to the ring and got a microphone. And the highlight of this section was Mark Briscoe drops MJF with a Dre Driller. Basically, everybody came out to the ring. They had the big Donnybrook. I like that word, Donnybrook. They had the big Donnybrook with everybody coming in the ring to end the show. It ended with Andrade supposed to hold Mark Briscoe for MJF. MJF accidentally hits Andrade. And then, and then Mark Briscoe gets the better of him. So Mark Briscoe finishes out on top for the AEW World Title on Dynamite. So my initial reaction after I watched Dynamite, because we were getting matchups through for Collision after the show, and I think it's important to say this because we are the Proclivity to Positivity. I watch all the shows and everything, and Austin, we're both Collision Dynamite every week. Collision Dynamite every week. When they announced the matches for Collision, and it was being recorded on the night, and there may have been other issues, I was like, this is the most skippable episode of Collision I've ever seen. We had major matches such as the conglomeration trios. Let's talk about some of the amazing matches as we cover Collision. I'm going to run through this. I honestly, I watched it last night. It was on in the background. There was a lot of promos and stuff, but the matches, Kevin Knight versus Desmond Xavier, cooked. That was the highlight. But I saw Jericho versus JD Drake, Persephone versus Billy Starks, Mystico and Speedball versus the Premier Athletes. It was like, the reason being is some people are watching no matter what. Me. Some people like, oh, I'm going to look at the card and decide I'm going to watch. And then there are some people's like, if I hear about something good, I'll watch it. If you're in those last two categories about Collision, you probably did not watch the show. And as me, as a person that, either reviews the show or whatever, I was like, unless they announce a match or something, unless they, have a match or something, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, it was just, it was a show that existed kind of quickly through the results. Kyle O'Reilly and the Conglomeration Trios Championship, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong defeat the Ops, Hook, Shibata, and Owens. Hook and Shibata kind of just abandoned Bowens during the match. They just kind of left. And Strong finished Bowens off with a fireman's carry slam and threw Cassidy on top of him for the win. So we're seeing where it's at. The man was saying that they're looking for gold. Jay Lethal and the Lethal Twist start walking around. Ricochet and Jay Lethal both say they like each other's haircuts and they need to talk. And the six men left together. And then Will Ospreay gets his matchroom orders from John Moxley. Basically, John Moxley told, unfamiliar with Swerve's past apparently, told Ospreay to burn Swerve's house down. I'm like, well, that already happened. But he said, Will Ospreay said, you're a squatter and you're occupying space on my road to Wembley. Then Dan Garcia said, "Ayo, Billy, bring it home, my boy." And it becomes apparent that bond Ospreay has formed with the Death Rider seems to be going deeper than just training. And I'm just like, I'm sus. It's sus. It's sus. It might be straightforward. I might be reading shit into shit. Brian Alvarez, and then I heard on One Nation Radio that they're not interested in the storylines in wrestling right now. And honestly, I can kind of agree, but I can kind of agree. And I was like, maybe I'm trying to make this storyline better. So I'm super interested in it. Then we got Kevin Knight and Desmond Xavier, and they did what Kevin Knight and Desmond Xavier did do. It reminded me of a TNA X Division match, just very high flying, very exciting. The Jet finishes with his I forgot what they called it, the crash landing, aka rock bottom, aka bookend, aka uranagi, aka all the different names in the movie. I like that he's going with the cash landing. I had a few other ones, but they were too on the nose, so I like that one best. We then see the creation of the steel cage, all the work that's going into creating the steel cage. Then my favorite moment of the night, Triangle of Madness addresses the Stardom enemies. Taket Tekla comes out, and it's amazing how her presence even makes Sky Blue and Julia Hart look more intimidating. She says the crowd saying she's the one making Forbidden Door actually forbidden. If she wants to fly to Japan, she does it. If she wants to attack the president of Stardom, she does it. I say this because this was like a 100% just real promo, because a lot of people do feel this way. She is giving the energy to Forbidden Door that I personally want. Maybe other people don't. Maybe people want it to be kumbaya, we love each other, celebration of wrestling thing. Great. I want it to be a fight. I want it to be a war between the factions of all the companies, and I want there to be a winner. And I want that to happen every year. And I think it would be fun. And I think if we have the men and women knowing as their own thing, and then the rest of the show is promotion versus promotion warfare, that would be amazing to me. I think the way AEW could execute it would be amazing to their fans, and it'd be one of the biggest draws of the year. Because again, my preference would be Forbidden Door, and I honestly think it would be better for writing and better for the All In if Forbidden Door lived outside of the weekly AEW stuff. Like, right, as far as AEW, like as a group, the four companies are building Forbidden Door, but AEW at the same time is building to that first Dynamite after, or the beach break on July 8th as their next big show, as opposed to that's where you get the AEW versus AEW matches. But Forbidden Door just lives in the world of promotion versus promotion. Like, if you do, like I said, I wouldn't want anything other than the Owen Cup matches being AEW versus AEW. Jericho defeats JD Drake. I didn't watch this match. I started doing something else. I then looked up. Jericho had tapped out JD Drake and made him say he's the best, which is what Ciampa did to Tony Schiavone. Divine Dominion face off with Thunder Rosa. I don't really know why this match is happening, but I'm okay with it because, again, it's Forbidden Door. Thunder Rosa and Olympia are representing CMLL against the AEW team. I'll take it. She asked if they knew about the heart of the Mexican fighting spirit. I actually thought this was pretty good. I thought this was a great babyface energy from Thunder Rosa. The Divine Dominion should, Thunder Rosa was ready to fight them both, and I was like, definitely. Like I said, there was some energy for that match, which it felt like just a throw-on buy-in match. I think she added a little energy to it. I'm not saying I'm now excited about the match, but it made me actually more aware of the match than I was before. Persephone and Billy Starks had I think, a really good, solid match. There was this Northern Light suplex that it looked like it landed on Billy Starks' head. That was really good. Persephone ends with her Razor's Edge and gets the 3. After she's celebrating the match, Hikaru Shida just comes out and just hits her with the kendo stick, starts beating her up, and puts her in the submission, which is like a crossface and a single leg crab all together. It's kind of amazing. I'd hate someone stretching me like that. Chris Statlander, Harley Cameron, and Queen Amanada hit the ring to run Sheeta off. They tried to check on Persephone, but Persephone's like, hey, what the hell? I don't know. She's ready to fight everybody. And there's a 4-way standoff with her. Sheeta at the top of the ramp saying she is the best. Gabe Kidd is returning soon, and he's coming for Shota Umino. He said he doesn't care about the title. He's coming to beat him up, kind of thing. I thought that was funny. He's doing it for AEW, and he'll be waiting for Umino in his home country. It's like Gabe Kidd's looking amazing. He's coming back, but he's coming back for like a week or two, and then he will be off for I think a month for the G1. But I think Takeshita was flying back during the G1 last year, so maybe Gabe Kidd does that. Fucking legends if they do. That's a long ass flight. That's a long ass flight. Jake Doyle beats Adam Priest. Good match, skippable match. Move on with your life. Mercedes Moné and Maya World offered their final words into their match. Moné told World she won't be losing to her biggest fan. For the first time since her injury, Willow Nightingale, in the beginning of her comeback, as footage plays her training both in and on the ring, says she's always dreamed and strived of being the best, but somewhere along the way, her journey says she let that dream die. Now she's on her way back, and she knows what she's made of. But I guess I just got comfortable. So, So, excited for Willow to be coming back. And the CEO, Mercedes Moné, and ROH World Champion Athena defeat Maya World and Hyan. Okay, let's see. Finishing the match, World dropped Athena, and then, let's see. All right, Athena ran up the ropes and connected with a lightning fast old face out of nowhere to get the pinfall victory, while Monet had World locked in the statement maker on the floor. Monet and Athena attacked Hyan after belt, just as they did to Maya World last week. And Monet gathered herself at the base of the Owen Cup as the collision came to a close. And, Monet's defending the Continental title, not defending Continental title, defending the Owen Hart Cup, almost like Okada defended the Continental Classic. So we're going to get to the point where she either is back-to-back or we have a new, for the first time, Owen Hart Cup. It just feels like the Continental energy because Okada came through and he was defending it. And then Monet is kind of defending in her Owen Hart Cup. And I don't know where they're going to go with it. The reason I don't know where they're going to go with it, or I don't feel like I know where they're going to go with it, is you could go with the upset, I think, as a drawing act at All In, you want Mercedes Moné on all your shit when you're building to a match because she's Mercedes Moné, but they could go with Maya World. I'm like, Maya World versus Thekla, is that a premier match you want on your show? I'm like, if you're trying to build somebody, why the fuck not? So, I don't know. Let's see. But that was Collision. Like I said, if you ask me, it's skippable. I know people don't. I'm just, like I said, if you're looking at me talking as a fan, it was skippable, but you're getting the show on Sunday morning. So if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and skip it. But there's no reason you don't need to watch it before the show. But if you do have, time or whatever, but we'll see. Let's see. AEW's had some visa issues that have affected the show. There was actually a list of wrestlers that affected. I actually wanted to talk about this before I previewed the show. Yeah, okay. It was during the press call. Tony Khan said the visa issues has been a massive challenge. He said the specific Gabe Kidd's going through the renewal process. Commander Hechicero and Beast Muertos have been unable to return to the United States due to visa issues. Sammy Guevara has been traveling to CMLL so he could assist. So this week, and this is important news heading into Forbidden Door, Sammy Guevara and the Beast Mortos lost their ROH Tag Team Championship to Sky Team, which is Mystico and Mascara Dorada. Now, I think I'm getting this right. Mystico and Mascara. Mystico has like 4 different titles in 3 different companies. Apparently, he's part of the ROH Tag Team Champions, the New Japan Junior Tag Team Champions. He's a singles champion and a trios champion in CMLL. They should just call Mystico the Forbidden Door at this point. He's taking that on. Gay Kid, and it looks like Mark Davis is also visa issues. He's defending the national title at I don't know if it's a Rev Pro show in Rev Pro show in UK. Let's see who else. They said several Stardom talent couldn't come for scheduled dates they would have preferred. Stardom has been the best partner having the visa organized and getting people in. And he's also said the injuries have kept several men and women from being on this card. So just wanted to address that. It's like, this Forbidden Door card is not what I thought or not what I wanted. You got to think about this. And this is every year. The show's generally in June. I know exception of last year because of All In being moved. But the show's generally in June. And you're trying to coordinate through 4 different companies. Right? And you're trying to coordinate stories, how they're being used, injury situations, all that to get a card together in the middle of June. And the fact that they've put on great Forbidden Doors every year should be something that we commend AEW, Tony Khan, and all the other companies together, working together to get this done. But because of that, I think that's why Tony Khan leans more on AEW wrestlers, because I think he knows the AEW wrestlers are here, they're available, they're healthy. So when something doesn't go the way he plans, he always sticks with his guys because he knows their situation. He doesn't have to base it on communication and things like that to try to figure out who will be available. But that being said, that amazing information out there. We're only 35 minutes into the show, flying through. We are now ready for the AEW Forbidden Door preview and prediction show. So quickly, picking up my cell phone. You're about to hear some amazing radio right here. No, just kidding. You're picking up my cell phone, and I am going to quickly go over, I'll go over his results, his picks as I go through the show, because the reason I decided to record this late is in case there was a last minute ad on Collision. So if there is a last minute ad, it's going to be the day of Forbidden Door, and I wouldn't have had the time to cover it anyway. So just letting you know. All right. Here is your All Things Elite's 2026 Forbidden Door preview. We are going to start as usual with the buy-in of this show. And in the buy-in for the Survival of the Fittest qualifying match, we have Sky Blue wrestling against Micah. I'm sorry. I need glasses. Maika from Stardom. And it'll be a Survival for the Fittest qualifying match. I would like to see somebody from Stardom in the Survival of the Fittest. That would be cool. Micah winning would be cool, but I think Sky Blue's going to win because in Survival of the Fittest, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe since it's a 6-way match, it's no DQ. And when you have a match that could eventually turn into a plunder match, I mean, Sky Blue is the queen of AEW plunder. I'm giving her that title. I mean, you can go with it or you're not, but Sky Blue is the queen of the AEW plunder match. So if I'm going to do a match that could turn into a plunder match, I'm making sure Sky Blue's in it. So I'm going with Sky Blue as the winner of this match. Then we have women's tag team championship match, Divine Dominion versus Thunder Rose and Olympia. I think Divine Dominion's going to win. I think they're going to add another. I think they're going to add another buy-in match. I think they're going to add another men's buy-in match. I think it's going to end up being Hanari and the Great O'Khan versus Gates of Agony. Now, they might add a different match. I don't know. This just came from Hanari posted online that they'll fight anybody in AEW for the tag team titles. Now, a little piece of me started saying, well, FTR is off, right? And I started putting pieces together. FTR is off. Cash said that one of the last things FTR wanted to do was completing the World Tag League, right? And, wouldn't it be fun if they competed in the World Tag League as New Japan champions? And at the first Forbidden Door, FTR won a trios match to become the new IWGP Tag Team Champions. So then the Knockout Brothers lost the titles to Great O'Khan and Hanari at the most recent Dominion show. So I'm like, FTR could win and then take the titles into World Tag League if they did like an open challenge thing. But when I went at Hanari on Twitter, which was playful because, always about wrestling, always playful energy for me, saying, hey, you waited until FTR was on vacation to call them out. And he's like, Gates of Agony is toughening her anyway. And of course I had to come back because I'm a comebacker. I had to come back with the line, ask your boy what happened the last time FTR came for tag titles at Forbidden Door, the aforementioned them becoming IWGP Tag Team Champions. So I was like, I started building that up in my head, and I think that was fun for me. And, honestly, it took stuff like that and then Rich saying it. I was like, yeah, I don't think I am that interested in a lot of AEW storylines right now. They're just interest in wrestling. Right now, the storylines aren't hitting with me. Swerving Ospreay, of course, is the most interesting thing, but I'm not a big Mark Briscoe fan. Never have been. So him and MJF feuding does nothing for me. I'm looking, not super conglomeration guy. So that really doesn't do anything for me. I was just going through it. Cope and Christian versus the Dogs. It's nice to see Cope and Christian working with younger guys. I wouldn't call them young because David Finlay's like 35, but younger guys. So that's cool. This is a new matchup, but again, nothing really for me to sink my teeth into on the Dogs, pun intended. So I was just like looking at this and it's just like, oh, there's a lot of just stuff. So if they added a tag team match and FTR made a surprise appearance, that would make me happy. But if we do get a match added, it'll be more than likely the current IWGP Tag Team Champions versus probably Gates of Agony. We'll see what happens. They never followed up on Ricochet taking the lethal twist with him. So maybe they might be doing some kind of trios type thing, triple tag team thing or something like that. We will find out then. All right, so now it's time for the main card of Forbidden Door. So I'm actually going from bottom to top from listed on the show. So if you ask about my order, there's no particular order other than just looking at these graphics. First match shown is the Owen Hart Cup Foundation Championship between Mercedes Moné and Maya World. I think the whole world would be talking about it if Maya World won. And it's kind of this has been done like everybody that has won the Owen Hart Cup. I believe it's like Britt, Willow, and then now Mercedes is won it last year, and I think she was about to try to. She'd be the first person to win it back to back. Yeah, I'm going with Mercedes getting a back to back win. I like Maya World. I think she's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I think she's one of the future of the division. When Tony Khan Tony Khan talks very highly of her on her, so like she's gonna be something. I just don't think it's time to pull the trigger on her yet. I think you go with Mercedes Moné, the proven draw to take into London and have a big match with Tekla. I think that's where you go, and I think that's the energy that you get. Is that then I think that's where the energy is. They're gonna have a banger match, but I would go with the safe pick, which is Mercedes Moné. That's what I would personally do. That's what I think they're going to do. We will see what happens there. Next matchup for the IWGP Global Championship, we have the Shooter, former Rider of Death with Jon Moxley, Shota Umino. He was never in the Death Riders, but when Jon Moxley was called the Death Rider in New Japan, Shota was kind of his young boy. For lack of a better term, but they tagged together and all that stuff. So he was kind of like almost an understood member of the Death Riders, but Gabe Kidd has warned him that he is not. And then we got Pac. He's wrestling against the UK owns Pac. It's gonna be an amazing banger of a match. Pac is, one of the best we have in AEW as far as workers. And saying that is saying a lot because look at the workers in AEW right now. And then Shota Umino is really, really good. It's like he's one of those people, he's going to always put on at least, a decent to good match. People know how to work in Japan, and they're really trying to establish him as the global champion. I think it goes without saying he's going to win. But I'm looking forward to the performance of him because I liked him with Yuri Uemura in a tag team. Him as a singles, I've enjoyed some of his matches with Takeshita, but I haven't been like super positive. So I'd love to see him have a banger here. Because if no one outside of the main New Japan fan base, when I'm talking about the podcast, the hardcore American face, they're obviously rooting for New Japan to have stars more than anyone. But I think I'm like right behind them. This whole Forbidden Door concept, I watch New Japan wrestling, especially the big shows. Of course, I watch Dominion. I want New Japan to have established stars because established stars make you dream matches. And I want Tsuji to be like one of the biggest stars in Japan. I want Amino to take his spot. I want the people to be great in WGP. That makes this match be bigger. And then when AEW sends people over for Wrestle Kingdom, all that stuff, you have people that can draw. And so I hope I hope Shota Umino helps catapult New Japan. And if you listen to the show, I'm big on taking some of those New Japan people and trying to help make them by putting them up against AEW real, top AEW stars and helping them get over. I am all about that. I think AEW is doing their job, putting on the TV, all that stuff. But an ancillary thought would be helping New Japan create new stars if they can. If that's something even Japanese people or the fans of New Japan even want. But yes, then the next matchup, Certified, probably going to steal the show. Definitely could be match of the night. It could be the match everyone's talking about. We got the Young Bucks, one of the GOATs, versus the new ROH World Tag Team Champions, Sky Team, Mascara Dorado and Mystico, versus the Unbound Company of Teton and Shingo motherfucking Takagi. Now, I'll tell y'all, before Takeshita, Shingo was clearly my favorite wrestler in New Japan. And, he's still too. But it wasn't really how he wrestled never changed my mind on Shingo. His booking changed my mind. They kind of down after his world title reign. He kind of went down the card a little bit, and it was just like, he was, doing stuff that was just kind of So I kind of checked out a little bit, and now, but every time he has a match, he always excites me. He's going to be the big powerhouse of this match. That's going to be fun. I'm going with in San Jose, California, Mystico tapping out Teton to get the win in a trios match. Maybe the Young Bucks win, but I don't know if they're going to lose in California too much more, but I'm going with Mystico and El Sky Team. Then we got John Moxley versus Bandito for the Continental Championship. Apparently, this was supposed to be like Callum Newman or some other guy from New Japan, but injuries or soreness or whatever kept him out of it. So now we got John Moxley versus Bandito. Come on, it's Bandito. Like, I am not the biggest Bandito fan anywhere in the world at all. I'm not. Don't like. Hey, he's fine. I'm not as high on everybody as Bandito, but I will say this: he puts on great matches every time he's in the ring. This is what he does. So it's John Moxley, who's honestly, I can't argue that I will vote anyone higher on the current wrestler of the year than John Moxley. And now you have him against Bandito, who's, again, probably right there, too. So it's going to be a fun match. Again, but yeah, if you go in first half of the year, John Moxley's probably my wrestler of the year. But just the amount of consistent output that he's putting out there. So, but John Moxley gets the clean win. Then we're going to get Cage and Cope versus the Dogs. It should be very violent, very exciting, great story, all the good stuff. Ed should make Cope should make a lot of faces. Christians should say something about their fathers, and then they'll get the win. Christian and Cope are going to retain the tag team titles. I'm hoping we're getting closer to Christian and Cope versus the Young Bucks. And then we have Tekla versus Starlight Kid for the AEW Women's World Championship. This match is probably the second best built match on this card, next to Star Strickland and Will Ospreay. They're both former Stardom wrestlers. Tekla's a Stardom wrestler. Her and Starlight Kid's probably wrestled a lot. I did not go through the history and do the research, but they probably wrestled a lot. So I expect a banger because Stardom matches, they're both from that time where Stardom was definitely putting out bangers every week. And so, I think it'll end up being a great match, and Tekla will cheat to win, and then Okada will have something to do with it. Now, it'd be kind of interesting if Starlight Kid won, and somehow Tekla won the title back at a Stardom thing between now and All In, but in this case, I don't want to do a surprise for the sake of surprise. Tekla's hot right now. She has all the energy, and she's winning. Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. I'm going to come back to that one because, yeah. Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. Good chance to be match of the night. One of the matches of the night. Zack and Kenny, amazing chemistry, and from the time that we've seen them wrestle, that one time we've seen them wrestle or whatever, I think they'll do it again. I think they've done a good enough job saying Zack Sabre, making you think Zack Sabre Jr. could win, but I think Kenny Omega goes ahead and hits that one winged angel and gets that 1, 2, 3. Then we had the Forbidden Door steel cage match. We got MJF and the Don Callis family versus Mark Briscoe and the conglomeration. I am going with Mark Briscoe in the conglomeration, with Mark Briscoe getting a title shot. I'm thinking Andrade turns. Well, it turns on MJF is the clear result. Now, I did have a thought on this match. I did share with Rich that if they would have made this a captain's match, I think that would have added a little bit more energy where Mark Briscoe or MJF had to be the one to get pinned. I think that could have added more energy, just a little twist, and it's a thing that CMLL does. So it'd be like, hey, we even rules could slip through the Forbidden Door every now and then. But, maybe I thought that was a great idea, but, they went with what they went with, and I, of course, trust AEW wholeheartedly. Swerve versus Will Ospreay. This is going to be match of the night. I'd say the other matches could be the match of the night. Mox and Bandito. The three-way tag match. Kenny and ZSJ. Fucking Declan Starlight Kid. All could be match of the night. They could. But this is going to be the match of the night. We have Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. They're both in their primes as wrestlers. I know Will Ospreay's coming off the neck injury, but dude, honestly, from when he came back, can you tell? Other than him selling it, can you tell? And then Swerve got the knee fixed. He's brought a different energy back with a different music. He wants this. This is power. This is power versus destiny. Swerve is pursuit of power. It is his idea that he is the person to have all the power in AEW. Will Ospreay is in pursuit of destiny. Working construction outside of Wembley. It's his dream to main event Wembley. They've called it out. It seems like there is a foregone conclusion. Will Ospreay is going to win this match. Kenny's going to win his match. Kenny's going to beat MJF. Will Ospreay is going to wrestle MJF at All In. Seems like a foregone conclusion. And it would be very, very easy for this man that hosts the AEW podcast to say Will Ospreay is going to win this match. I think the Death Riders screw him over and Swerve wins. I could be so wrong. And like I said, they could go with the straightforward storyline. I'm going to be in Wembley, All In, no matter what. Don't get me wrong. So this is not selling me a ticket or taking the ticket away from me. But I just feel like everything in AEW as far as the storytelling might be a little stale. And the Death Riders siding with Swerve to beat Will Ospreay and adding yet another obstacle on Will Ospreay's trying to get to All In. I'm going with that. Yep, I'm going with Swerve Strickland winning. I could be so wrong, and I'm fine with it. But it's just like the way the Death Riders are side-eyeing them. Now, again, the Death Riders are a stoic, angry bunch. That just could be the way they look. But it looks like a couple times you got like always Pac and Claudio are kind of standing away from him. Yuta's kind of standing away from him. The only person he seemed to have bonded with is Daniel Garcia. That's it. He's not in the group. And then Mox is there, and he's like this devil on your shoulder, trying to build Will Ospreay in his image. I don't know. It just seems like we're going to get a wrench in all these plans. Again, some of you may see it, some of you may not. I might be just some crazy man ranting, shaking my fist at the clouds, hoping that something different happens. But I'm going out on a limb, and that limb may fucking break. The Forbidden Door is going to get blown off his handle, and then the biggest upset, and now I'm not talking about talent-wise, but the biggest upset because everyone knows what's going to happen. Swerve Strickland, with the help of the Death Riders, PNL Ospreay in the middle of the ring, hits him with the vertebraker to try to break his neck again. Swerve Strickland is your Owen Hart Cup winner and your presumed main eventer at All In. We will see. Also, they've kind of been talking about Hangman lately, so maybe he has something to do with it. I don't think he does. I mean, technically, let's just say the Death Riders turn on Will Ospreay during the match. I mean, Hangman does owe Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is the reason changed Swerve's mind and gave him the chain. Hangman owes Will Ospreay more than he owes anybody ever, so we will see that. But yeah, that is our Forbidden Door preview. Good Lord, I had this phone right here the whole time with good old Austin's picks, and I was supposed to say them as we went along, but I'll quickly go through them. He has the Divine Dominion and Sky Blue win. Divine Dominion and Sky Blue win in the preview matches, and I don't think he's much different for me than anywhere else. Shota Umino, Sky Team in the trios match. He has conglomerations in the steel cage match. He has Tekla beating Starlight Kid. He has Ospreay over Swerve, which is, that's chalk. Kenny over ZSJ. Mercedes over Maya World. John Moxley over Bandito and Christian K. Cope versus the Dogs. So this is what we're running into at this show. Honestly, reading this made me think of this thought. So this is a fresh new thought if I don't have it all fleshed out. This has a chance to be in the most predictable AEW pay-per-view in fucking history, and I don't want it to be. So throw something in there. Surprise me. Give me a title change. Give me some announced debuts of someone. Give me something. Because right now, if it goes chalk, I will come in and be like, man, there were some amazing wrestling matches happen, but nothing happened. Nothing that no one expected didn't happen. So I think they truly need just like two shocking things in, a couple title changes. You can always get titles back, but I don't know where I would go with it. I don't know which one I would pick other than the Will Ospreay Swerve thing. Now, if they just do the Swerve Will Ospreay thing, it'd be amazing for everybody watching, but since at that point I would have called it, it wouldn't be, I think it would be, like I said, amazing if they pulled the trigger. So, yeah, I'm just like, this is lining up to be a very predictable pay-per-view. And it's like, I do think when you're going right, the storytelling's a little predictable. Because if you're doing it right, you're telling things you're foreshadowing things that, your basic watcher could put two and two together to get to a result. That's great. But if he gets too boring, if it gets too predictable, that's when people check out. That's when people are like, well, it's so predictable right now. I don't need to watch weekly Dynamite and Collision. I don't need to really keep up because it's so predictable. I already know what's going to happen. I'll just read the results and wait on the pay-per-view. You don't want to get there, AEW. I don't think they're in danger of getting there now, but with this pay-per-view being so predictable, again, maybe, like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not predictable at all. I hope it's like, oh my God, I got that wrong. I got that wrong. I got that wrong. That'll be a fun show to do. But if I come back on the preview and be like, yeah, I was 11 for 11, I will be very bored and you will see a very low energy preview because that's not what I want. Again, we all watch wrestling. I always say this. Sometimes when I'm listening to reviews, especially for AEW stuff, I think, I'm like, I'm not watching what they're watching, or I'm not watching for the reason that they're watching. Because again, I watch a TV show about a fictional sports league, fictional MMA league, with different rules from UFC. That's what wrestling is to me. So as much as I want banger matches, as much as I want the people to get what they deserve, I want the best story. So I want the story that grabs me in, that makes me message Rich randomly on Messenger in the middle of the night, because I work overnights and I forget not everybody works overnight. So you will get random messages from me at times because of that reason, where I'm just super excited about something. I'm like, I think this is what's going to happen. Because he's my go-to. Him, JR, and Chris are probably my go-tos of my random ideas in the middle of the night, because, they don't get pissed at me for sending them a message at 1 a.m. I want that type of excitement. I don't have it for AEW right now, and it's kind of annoying to admit, because we're going into All In season, quote unquote, the build to All In. So you want that type of excitement. But we do have the Redemption pay-per-view, so that could do a lot to help build that excitement going forward. Few news and notes. AEW Collision to air on Thursdays twice in July. More preemptions possibly coming. Listed on the schedule, Thursday, July 2nd at 8 o'clock. So is that next week? Yeah, next week. Collision will be on Thursday, July 2nd. And then it looks like TNT Boxing on Saturday, July 4th, which kicks off a series of monthly events in conjunction with DAZN. And then it looks like the Detroit pay-per-views, Detroit shows are going to are going to basically, and that's the 29th and 30th, are going to both be live. Wednesday and Thursday are going to be live. So the collision's going to be on Thursday the 30th. And that's just to avoid SummerSlam, which I believe they do every year. So, in Minnesota. So, that's it. And of course, the other piece of news was the visa issues. Lost Lore Tequila and FTR have a tequila that is out. Will definitely have the link in here. I believe there was only 1,678 bottles of the tequila. Mine gets here on Wednesday because it looks like Lost Lore only ships to certain states. It looks like those bottles came to California. Actually, one is in San Jose. I told JR to go ahead and pick up a live bottle, but we will see if he has time to do that. Let's see. Where did I order mine from? Yeah, so it's this place called Mira Loma Market. That's where the link will be from. The Lost Lore FTR collaboration Reposado finished in Mizunara oak chips. It's $109.95. I think it was $25 for shipping, and they're limited to 2 because again, there's only 1,678 bottles of it. I have one on way. I plan on getting 2 more. I would go through all the tequila stuff, but I doubt we have any tequila experts. I will let you know how it tastes soon. I won't say next week because I don't think I'm going to open the bottle as soon as I get it. Because my goal is this. My goal is to have 3 bottles. 1 to put in the display like I do my put in the display like I have my other tequila bottle signed by FTR. 1 I want to drink with friends. Over time, I'm not a drinker, so a bottle's not gonna last. And 1 I hope to plan, and I hope to ask and beg to have a drink with them in Corbin, Kentucky, because FTR has a match against the Good Brothers in Corbin, Kentucky. They've been talking about it on their Instagram and Twitter and posting links. So if you want to join us August 22nd in Corbin, Kentucky, come join your boy. Come join your boy. It'll be fun. Let's see. I'm making sure I got covered everything because I felt like I've kind of flew through the show. Very palatable episode, if I must say so myself. No, that looks like all the information I have. So enjoy Forbidden Door tonight. Make sure you're in the Discord for Discord for Social Suplex, hitting us up, giving us your thoughts, giving us those spicy hot takes, and it should be a great and fun show. Make sure you can order on HBO Max, of course, and if you have HBO Max, it's $39.99, or the other way, you can order if you're international, is my AEW, or if you have a VPN. So make sure you're watching any way you can, keeping up with ATE. And make sure you're also tuning in to the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network, including One Nation Radio and Keeping It Strong Style, Trish and Sarah podcast. There's a lot of good shit out there. And also, I'll be recording soon on a show with Sir Sam. We will be doing the AEW match guide, and I believe we will be covering a Sting and Ric Flair match from the original Clash of the Champions. I remember actually watching that match live, and I've watched it a lot through the years, so I look forward to giving you my thoughts on that. All right, well, that's it for the show. I'd like to thank you all for listening. Again, Flying Solo, I'm getting more comfortable with, but I never wanted to ever do this show just by myself. I love having Austin here, and if he ever got too busy, I'd have to find someone else because I definitely like bouncing my ideas off of other people as we talk. But I'm glad thankful for all of you who bared with me, listening to me ramble for an hour. I thank you for doing that. And I always end the show with a little message, whether, if you like the messages, don't like the messages, think they're cheesy. up to you. You can turn off you can turn it off now. But, I was talking to my personal trainer, and because of everything that's been going on in life, it's been on and off for working out and stuff. Got inspired by a friend who's my friend who's busting her ass to get in shape and is really taking care of her health right now. Shout out to you. You know who I'm talking about. I didn't know if you want me to blow up your spot like that, so I'm not gonna say your name, but proud of her and all the hard work she's been doing. So she's kind of inspired me, to be like refocused, because again, I had my wife sick, reason, excuse, wherever you want to go. But, I had 30 minutes during the day to walk. I didn't, I could have chosen the sugar-free snack or the healthy snack. I didn't. I used it as a reason to not have to worry about my health. But Crystal's mended now. She's healthy. She's on her way. She's going to be back to work within the next couple of weeks. I have no more excuses. I really need to work on my health. So I'm going to work on that. And I will leave you with that message. Health is wealth. As a fat guy that is 45 and, starting to feel it. Like, I've always carried my weight well. Like, I can move pretty quick for somebody my big. I'm not saying I'm a fucking offensive lineman, defensive lineman, but on average, I can move pretty quick for somebody. Wherever walking and going places, I always keep up. I don't run out of breath, all that kind of shit, all that stuff. But when I feel my age? In the morning when I get up, when I work for a few hours and then I get up. And I might have said that on the show before, but if I can put off the pain of age by years by working out and, eating a few less donuts or eating a few less pancakes, I think that's worth the effort. So thank you for the people out there. I mean, I know Rich is always on a fitness journey. We have a group on Facebook of people always working out. I'm going to start leaning on them a little bit more because my motivation's at an all-time low. I literally just want to sit down with my wife and dog. And that's great. But I want to sit down with my wife and dog for a lot more years. And the best way to do that is to work out. So that's my message today. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. It's health is self-care. It's all that kind of stuff. Your mood, everything is better when you're taking care of yourself. And, this is not some skinny person that doesn't like sweets and doesn't like this talking to you. I'm a 300-pound man that has struggled with my weight my whole life. Still telling you, I've always felt better when I'm taking care of myself. So I am trying to get back to that. And I hope you listen to it. And if you're having problems motivating yourself, message me. Hit me up at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter or any of my social medias. We can work through it together. This whole thing it's hard. It's hard. It's fried everything is the easy decision. And I'm trying to make the tough decision a few more times in my life to put off something that I like to take care of someone that I love. And that someone in this case is me. So I'll leave you with that. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Do whatever you can do. I know some people are limited physically, but do what you can do. There's something you can do. And if that's the case, try to do it. And with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it's home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.
When I found out I was going to be a parent, I immediately felt a lot of anxiety and worry. So I went on to BetterHelp to try to look for a therapist to help me with that.
My relationship with my family and with my boyfriend and with myself were suffering. I really needed help.
I was ruminating a lot. Really getting those thoughts out to a therapist and getting feedback was just life-changing.
Discover what BetterHelp Online Therapy can do for you. Visit BetterHelp.com today.
You work hard to stay healthy and want the freedom to make the best decisions for yourself and your family. So why does healthcare still feel expensive and frustrating? Crowd Health is a different approach, built for entrepreneurs, families, and independent-minded people who want a simpler way to pay for healthcare. More than 28,000 members have already joined, and over 40,000 medical bills have already been funded. No restrictive networks, no corporate middlemen, just real people helping each other. Learn more at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com.